Good morning everyone and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. You are here with me today on this very grey and foggy day. The birds are in the garden still, but I can hardly see my hand in front of my face. It really is that foggy here. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of sunshine later on, and as usual I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I got up to all sorts of stuff last night, and I made 2 cards and I made an ornament, and this is my ornament. It's made from Dollar Tree foam, UV resin, I used watercolour, and I used glitter. Look how shiny that is. And I used my Hobby Lobby felt on the back to finish it off. There is my lovely AliExpress twine. That's kind of cerise pink, silver, and then my light pink ribbon there from AliExpress to hang it up. Now it could be an ornament or it could be a tag. It's very, very large. Now the reason I'm not showing you the dies for these is, number one, they changed the hanging loop on the ornament set on AliExpress, although the one on AliExpress I actually prefer that now, and it's also I think 1.5 inches bigger, and this is big, and I think it's a 5-piece set and it's like $2 or $3, so I will link that below for you. I did use some German glass glitter in there, so it has a really kind of almost rough texture, and of course there are hundreds of flamingo dies on AliExpress, so I will link to those too. Now the background that I watercoloured, I actually put my Dollar Tree foam board through an embossing folder, so that's how I achieved that effect there. So that is my ornament, and I do apologise for any distortions or colour differences because it looks almost like nighttime in my craft room. So that's the first thing that I did. And then I made cards, and to make the cards I used my beautiful gel pen, my pickup tool, so yes, you know there's some bags coming, and my 1.5mm black flat back beads. Now if I can get a close-up of these so that you can see how tiny they are, because I know some people have bought these and then they thought, oh my goodness, are they really supposed to be that small? Yes they are. It should look like caviar in the bag when you get them. So that is the 1.5mm flat back bead. I also used a wavy stitch die. You can get many of these too in different styles. Some will even cut out sort of like 2 stitch lines both sides of the paper, which can save you time, but they have those on AliExpress too. I used this one, which means I cut it all in white because I left the die completely connected, and she is a beautiful little girl. She was a pleasure to make. I made myself another clown, so all of this was cut in white. Lots of pieces there, which is why you need one of these wax tip pickup tool. And I used my usual stitched square. So my first card I'm going to show you is a clown. I showed you a clown yesterday, but this is another clown. On the website you can see it's all done in bright primary colours, which is perfect for anyone, but I wanted mine to look a little bit vintage, and I don't know if my camera's going to do it. I used a little bit of distress ink in old paper onto the white areas, and I used my AliExpress Touch 5 markers to colour the whole thing. And I was asked yesterday, how do I colour? Well, I cut all the pieces in white first, and then I colour all of the individual pieces and then glue the whole thing together using my Dollar Tree Jock Glue, which is kept in one of these AliExpress needle tip bottles. So that's how I did that. and of course Dollar Tree foam pads are behind to give him some dimension and shadow. So that is how I did that. This cardstock here is from Tuesday morning, but I just think he's lovely. So that's kind of like just to show you that just because you see something that looks, you know, as if it's only for a child and bright and primary, you can absolutely not use colour cardstock, use your pens and then just tone it down by going over the top of it with a distress ink. So that is my first card. And for my second card, I just absolutely enjoyed making this. Isn't she absolutely gorgeous? Look at those tiny little paper boats. Do you remember we used to make those when we were children? It was just an absolute pleasure to make. And let me tell you how many pieces are in this. You've got the hair, you've got the head, the body, that's 2, the dress 3, you've got 2 separate little legs, that's 5, and then you've got the tree trunk 6. Very, very simple to make, minimal pieces. And then of course you've got the tiny little leaves there that you can put onto your tree trunk. Once again, I cut all of this in white and then I used my AliExpress markers on the tree, on the girl and on the little leaves. But the background there is distress ink in chipped sapphire and tumbled glass, just blended. I cut a circle out and blended the chipped sapphire around the edges to make it look as if she has a moon, and then all those little stars come on the die, and then I used my white gel marker to put the tiny little dots into the sky there. I just think she's really, really lovely. I'm going to make her again. Because even though I kind of tried to stay true to what was on the website, except for obviously my addition of the moon. I wanted to put a moon there. Let's see if we can get a clear picture. But you can also imagine her sitting there with sand under her feet. Maybe you've got a little crab or a starfish or shell dies to put in sand coloured little hills, and then you could put palm trees behind her and a bright yellow sun, so it works for that as well. Or she could be sitting in a spring blossom tree, and if you've got some tiny little flower dies, you could fill those branches with leaves and flowers. So I just absolutely really loved making this. And now I'm going to do measurements. So when she's fully made up, I've got to go from that top leaf there, which I tried to position correctly, and I know where that is underneath. So that is just over 3¼ inches high, because of course that branch goes slightly above her head. And then at this point here, it is 4¼ inches wide. I just love her. I want to make another one right now. So that's that, and I will measure this for you. Remember, the link that I'm going to put to these new tag ornament shapes are 1.5 inches bigger than this. So I think I'm probably going to have to get those, because big is better sometimes. 3½ inches is the width on this one. So the ones that I'm going to link are probably about 4 to 4½ inches and 4¼ deep. So that is the, there we are, sparkling flamingo ornament. And then the clown fully made up is, let's have a look, just shy of 3½ inches, and then with the gift in his hands to his hands is 3½ inches. So that is what I have for you today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope the sun starts to shine here, and as usual, all links are below, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.